This is episode 85 of Standing Out. Standing Out is a remarkable interview-style podcast with the intention to highlight women and men making outstanding contributions in their field. This podcast is generously sponsored by Meet Jointly. Across the country, there are small businesses just starting to scale, get distribution, and launch in national retailers. But they all share one really big challenge, reaching new customers and growing their brand on a shoestring budget. Meet Jointly is a platform that connects growing brands with the influencers who are ready to share their products and stories with their engaged audience. Today, I'd like to welcome Jennifer Perry. Jelt was launched in February of 2014 out of a quaint office in downtown Bozeman, Montana. Jelt's owner and inventor, Jen Perry, started Jelt out of pure necessity. It's an athletic, busy working mother, and as an athletic, busy working mother and business owner, Jen discovered a need for a functional belt to keep her jeans from sagging and her kids from cringing. With her passion for the outdoors and the company's headquarters located at the base of the Rocky Mountains, Jelt evolved from being a comfortable flat belt to wear with jeans to a perfect belt for hiking, biking, skiing, golfing, traveling, and everyday fashion. Jen, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that is so, I love what you say about keeping your jeans from sagging and your kids from cringing. That's perfect.
I have two teenage boys, so they cringe regardless, but hopefully keeping my pants on will help.
Yeah, always a good thing. Did you have a background? What was your background? Did you have a background in like product design, anything relevant to what you are doing with Jelt?
No, absolutely not. My background is actually in education. I have a master's in higher ed with a minor in family literacy, and I worked at MSU, Montana State University, which is in my town of Bozeman, and I was an academic advisor and adjunct professor for about 7 years.
When you came up with this idea for the belt, did you have your own self-talk of, I can't do this, I don't know anything about fashion, or I don't know how to manufacture a product? Like, what was that piece like?
No.
No?
I do that now. I do that now 4 years in. I'm like, what? What was I thinking? But no, at the time I just dove in. I'm the kind of person that dives off the high dive into the deep end and just goes for it and see what happens. Hopefully I come up for air and survive the landing.
Right. How did you find like someone who could manufacture the product, or what was that process?
So that process was, so just to give you a little bit of background on my company, it's a social enterprise. So I basically started Jelt as a way to give back to my community. So I had a near-death experience, it's 11 years ago now, where my appendix ruptured and I got sepsis, and they basically said I was going to die. And I was in the hospital for months and months, and my kids were little at the time, like toddlers. So I said to myself in the hospital, if I survive this situation, I'm going to do something or create something to give back to my community. So I did survive. See, I'm right here. Hello. Then I always had this idea, what could I invent? And I always had this idea for a stretchy belt like I wore as a kid in the 70s and 80s, the rainbow one with the gold buckle.
I don't know the one.
With your groovy dittos or your Schmendefers or whatever. And so I thought about that belt because my skinny jeans that I was wearing all the time kept sliding down. And I hated that. So I wanted to revive that idea and make it modern with a grippy inner gel, use 100% recycled products, have no metal parts so you could wear it through the airport.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, well, if I need this product, maybe other people do. And this could be the business I start to give back. So the entire company is based on, I'm gonna hire people, I'm gonna pay them well, and all the profits that we have at the end will go towards charities in our town and in the United States.
Wow. How do you select your charities, whether they're local or national? What are the ones that you gravitate toward?
Well, I have some near and dear to my heart here in Bozeman. And then there's some that just, you see a documentary or you go to some film series and you see these things and you're like, oh my God, this is an amazing organization. Like Warriors in Quiet Waters is one of them. And
I don't know that one. What is that?
So that's based here, but it serves veterans, combat veterans, America's combat veterans. And they don't like to say wounded veterans because some of the veterans that they serve actually have more PTSD and things like that. So there's not a physical wound, but there's some traumatic events. And so what they do is they take veterans from all over the country and take them fly fishing.
Oh, wow.
Rivers of Montana. They teach them how to fly fish. They show them the beauty of the river and the beauty of fishing and the catch and release. And it's just super cool.
That is something I've always wanted to do since, when did that movie come out? The River Runs Through It?
Yes, which was filmed here.
Oh, was it really? Oh my God. It looks like the most amazing sort of peaceful spiritual relationship you can have with nature. I think it looks so awesome. And right there for you.
It's a pretty great organization. So that's one of them. And then we also support Yellowstone Forever and the Greater Yellowstone Coalition, because Yellowstone is right about 45 minutes down the road from us. And we just see how beautiful and wonderful that landscape is and how it needs to be protected for generations to come.
Yeah. Are you from Montana originally?
Actually, I've only lived here for about 25 years.
Oh, okay.
That kind of makes me a newbie, believe it or not, because there's people that have been here for generations.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
I came from, I went to school Boulder near you, and then went to New York City and then moved here.
Okay. What was your call to Montana?
I just love the mountains. I'm such an outdoors person, and I love skiing, and I love hiking and camping and everything like that.
Yeah. What would you say is like a rookie mistake you made that you can share with us, that you're willing to share with us?
Oh my God. How long is this show?
You got
rookie mistakes happen every day, practically, or every week. I mean, it's insane. You can think you're going down the right track and either it's not your time, like with us, with hiring very high-end PR companies. It's probably not a good fit for us because that drains so much of our profits. And we're such a new concept that just finding the right fit there. I don't know. That's a rookie mistake. I think you need to ease your way into something like that. Yeah. I think rookie mistakes could be jumping in to a major wholesale platform, like a Walmart or a Target or whatever, something like that, before you're ready. We haven't done anything like that because I would have to really believe in the company as far as their mission and how they run their operations. But you can get into something like that and it looks super lucrative, but then if you can't produce the product fast enough, or you produce the product for them and then it doesn't sell, they ship it all back to you and you have to absorb them. Oh yeah. And you have to figure out where to store it. And so I haven't gotten to that stage yet, but those are some things for other people to watch out for. Rookie mistakes that I've made, not having a diversified supply chain. Your manufacturer goofs up and you end up at the back of the line again and you don't have product to sell. You're a sinking ship.
So how do you know, like, I almost, in business, we're now 7 years old and there are plenty of rookie mistakes along the way. And like you, a new rookie mistake happens all the time. And sometimes I'm sitting here like, gosh, I wish there were just a checklist for this. Like, what do you need to know or what do you need to do? But in your mind, if there is a company looking to scale, let's say they find a national retailer that is in perfect alignment with their mission, what are those boxes you feel like they need to check before they say yes? Like, what do they, they need to think through what to do with the product. Do they have enough suppliers for the product? Like, what else?
I think you need to have somebody who's willing to manage that account, as there's some pretty strict forms that you fill out and legal, make sure your attorney looks over the contract, or the agreement. You have to make sure that you service these people all the time. And yeah, you want to make sure your supply chain is dialed, because if they don't get what they want when they ask for it, and it doesn't come correctly or whatever, they'll just cut you off, and then you're all done. And then what do you do with all these units that you produce for them?
Right.
Yeah.
What would you say, like, where do you get your inspiration and kind of knowledge, or how do you stay on top of trends? Are you doing TED Talks, books, podcasts?
I do a lot of podcasts for sure. I have a social media director, PR, social media in-house, and she is quite a bit younger than me and stays on top of the trends. We live in a pretty progressive town, believe it or not. Bozeman, Montana sounds like podunk.
But it's not. It's a pretty large city, right?
It's like the fastest growing city per capita in the country.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's insane how fast it's growing. So, just looking around and getting inspiration from my town and the people moving here, and
that's awesome.
my friends from home in Southern California, my friends from Boulder, my friends from New York, and you have to stay on top of it.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that people think Bozeman is podunk. So I live in Evergreen, which is outside of Denver by 45 minutes or an hour into the mountains. And, sometimes I describe it as rural, but yesterday someone asked me if we have banks. I'm like,
Nothing. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's funny. Like years ago when I first moved here, they thought we rode around on horses.
Right.
And no, we have roads with cars.
Right. That's funny.
So I get it, that whole bank thing.
Right. What would you say is something you do to recover from a tougher sort of day?
Should I be honest and say drink a lot of wine? So I have great friends and a great support system and a cool family. But I love the outdoors. Like, just go get outside wherever you are. If you live in the city, just go walk around, get some fresh air. I love hiking and riding my bike. But I think just getting outside, you got to do it.
You do. Someone else was telling me, and I've done this a few times, I need to get better at it, but on days that I have back-to-back calls, they're like, just walk outside and take the call. I'm like, done. Like, why not? And I try and, do flatter walks, so I'm not huffing and puffing the whole time. But it is nice just to get some fresh air,
Yeah, and I mean, where you live, like, you could literally just walk out your door and be a beautiful atmosphere. Yeah.
Truly. Yeah, for sure.
But I loved when I lived in the city too. And I would just walk the streets sometimes and just look at people and, just get that vibe. That was a really fun time.
Yeah, that's awesome. As we wrap up, what's one thing that's on your radar as a thought leader in your space that you think we'll all be talking about in another year or two from now, sort of as a trend or a hot topic?
I think that whole topic of social enterprise, and we just got our B Corp certification.
Oh, congrats.
A lot of people don't know what that is, but they will know. And it means that we're in business. We're a business as a force for good. Mm-hmm. So everything we do is to take care of our employees, to take care of the environment, and to take care of the people on this planet. And I think that is going to be the trend, hopefully, from here on out.
Yeah. And that B Corp certification is no joke. I've seen it. It is a beast to get through. So congrats on that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a huge feather.
They are so very thorough, which makes it that much more of an honor and makes us as consumers know, like, hey, they're really doing what they're saying they're doing. And I think that's really incredible for sure.
Yep. And it forces transparency too in your business.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. Well, congrats on that, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Katrina. Hope you have a great day.
Thank you.